Ladies and gentlemen, thank you once again for tuning in to another episode of Generation of Wrestling Podcast. As always, is yours truly, the 28-year-old piece of gold, the franchise, aka the showstopper, better known as the GOW's resident tribal chief. And with me, as always, I got my tag team partner, my brother, my family. He is the flyest in the room, Mr. 123, pin that ass down, K Breezy, aka EC's resident Isaac Hayes King. Too cold in the building. What's good, my boy?
Man, what to do, man? Goddamn, man. I keep adding in all these damn names, man. I don't know if you're gonna remember all that shit.
Hey, man, you know what's crazy? I feel like, the government put me under MK Ultra mind control, man. This shit it's embedded in me. Even when I forget what I'm talking about, it's just come on out anyway. Bill Clinton and a couple presidents know a thing or two about that, but we ain't gonna get into that right now. Tuco, what's up, bro?
Well, what's good, man? What's good with the people, man? Hey, yo, man. Yeah, man, we wanted to change a few things up for 2022, man. I know I sent the post out on Facebook. We were gonna do something a little different. We're gonna give y'all kind of a not so much as a Raw recap. We're gonna talk about Raw. We're not so much talk about it, but we gonna get into it. But we're gonna also talk about what's going on in the world of WWE, man. We kind of just more shoot from the hip, man. I can't bear myself to watch a 3-hour Raw. Though I hear and have seen there are certain things that have been really good about the show, and it has been progressing in some ways, but it's still pretty much Monday Night Raw. And so, we need to cover it, man. We need to talk about it, man. We need to give it to the people, man. There be some stuff we need to talk about, and sometimes we don't talk about it because we forget, man. So Benjamin, man, what's good, man? Yeah, we're gonna do NXT tomorrow because for me personally, the NXT 2.0 it has lost me as an avid watcher to watch it constantly like that. Like I like right now it's on right now. That's because I'm on with y'all. So it's like I'm gonna see what's happening, but I may not watch the rest of this show tonight. I might have to watch it tomorrow. So by tomorrow we'll have we'll have our review or whatever, and then whatever news comes out, we're gonna talk to y'all about that tomorrow. So we're just trying to change things up a little bit, but we will still do our AEW review Wednesday nights, right at the main event, and we're still gonna keep with the SmackDown and the Rampage. So we're not gonna change too much up. What's going on with you, Kevin, man?
Big Kev, what's up, baby?
So just a few little changes. And also one more thing, and I know me and Franchise talked about this, but probably forgot about it, but talked about it because we've been doing so much other stuff. We got the Royal Rumble coming up. And if y'all have paid attention, due to some shenanigans due to a third party, we lost a lot of our content for some of our Survivor Series and series that we did on the pay-per-views and stuff like that. So I kind of wanted to do, me personally, I felt some type of way, and I wanted to do something to kind of put that back on our, on our catalog. But I feel we needed to do something different. I don't want to do the same thing we did last time. That was cool, but at the same time, that was really long, and I remember those nights, and I don't want to remember those nights. So what we're gonna do is, man, what I think just a little different, man. We're gonna rank the rumbles, man. But we're not just gonna rank the rumbles. We're gonna also rank the other matches on the show. We're gonna rank the whole pay-per-view overall. Royal Rumble's coming up on the 29th, so looking around next week, we'll probably get that in, but. Just something to look forward to, man. Just a few changes, a few things that we got going on, and of course, we still got some interviews. We waiting to plug in and let y'all know about.
All right, man. Well, with that being said, all right, so we're going to start off, man. So yesterday on Raw, we had Becky Lynch. She came out. She cut a quick promo on the women's division. Then, of course, outcomes Doudrop, Morgan, and Belair, which will set up our first match of the night. We get a tag team match with Belair and Morgan versus Doudrop and Lynch. Doudrop and Lynch, man, they ended up kind of, having a little back and forth. Doudrop ended up picking up the victory for her team. Tuco, man, I want to talk to you, bro. Hold on, really quick. Leo says, I must be in a different universe seeing GOW do a Raw review. It's more like a Raw recap / news in WWE.
We're going to talk about a few things, Leo.
Yeah, a Raw review per se. It's more like a Raw highlight show. Pops, what's going on? What's going on, big dog? How you feeling?
What up, Pops?
But yeah, man, so I'm going to talk to you, Tuco, because,
man.
like, I love Belair. We already know about Belair. We already know about Lynch. We already know about Morgan. Well, no, you know what? I'm gonna leave it at this. I love Belair. I love Lynch. You're starting to really see Liv Morgan kind of get a little bit of a push, man. We wanted it. We're starting to get it. Of course, it might not have been in the outcome that we wanted in certain times, but I really have faith in Liv Morgan on the back end. But somebody who I think is it right now,
Right.
is Dewdrop. Bro, I really, really love Dewdrop. And so for me, right, when she first had her name changed, she became Dewdrop on the main roster, and she had the whole initial run with Eva Marie and stuff like that. I really wasn't sold on it at first. But then Dewdrop is a perfect example of somebody, man, who took a pile of shit and turned it into gold, right? I mean, the name, the entrance music, it's things that to me, I feel like there's no way she could overcome that. And she has, whether it's her promos, whether it's her in ring work, whether it's her
Yeah.
facial expressions, it's the little
Yeah.
things, right?
Yeah.
Uh, to me, I feel like Dewdrop, man, is positioned or being positioned to be a major player, if not by the end of the year, man, in the very near future. I want to talk to you. I believe at WrestleMania we're going to get Bianca Belair versus Becky Lynch, and Belair is going to get her vengeance from SummerSlam last year. But I want to talk to you right now about Dewdrop and Liv Morgan. Where do you see Dewdrop and Liv Morgan, man, on your radar for this year, man? Do we see anything positive happening for both or one or the other?
Dewdrop, yes. I There is something obviously there. She one has a great oh shit, Walter. Dewdrop definitely has something. She has a following from NXT UK. And you know how thorough their wrestling is, so as far as the personnel and what they do and how they present it. So you always could trust the NXT brand of something because they're gonna put the people out there that can really work, and she can work. I'm not gonna call her a great worst or great wrestler, but she can work. The girl's a good worker. And we 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 know anytime we get someone that we're used to seeing one way in NXT, when they get to the main roster, they're somewhat different. Some
Right.
people may stay the same, but they'll have little changes. Ripley's kind of been the same, but she's gotten way softer now, getting her ass whooped by Nikki Ash. Now, don't get me wrong, Nikki, she's a pit bull. She can go with anybody, but just this whole Rhea just so hurt. This is not Rhea Ripley. No, this is not the Rhea Ripley I know. So with Dewdrop, we're gonna get more into that later. But Dewdrop, it took a minute, like you said. Everything you said was, you were spot on, man. Honestly, for right now, the character that she is now and the direction is going is good for her, because she's nailing it. And WWE's giving her crap, and she's making it into gold, as much as she can. Even if it's not gold, it's gold plated. But she's turning it into more than what you thought it would be. And
Right.
um, I said this to my daughter. I said I like Dewdrop. To me, she replaces Nia Jax, but she's a better worker than Nia Jax.
You know what? I can agree. I agree.
And
Fair.
and she, she still keeps that kind of dominating, powerful female. But again, I know she's not perfect, but she doesn't look as bad as Nia Jax does.
Hmm.
And so it's like I like her. Let's see what they do with it. She's got a title shot against Becky Lynch. Okay, we're gonna see where that goes, especially considering she smashed Becky Lynch in this match just to get and then took the pinfall. So
Right.
that was like that was a cool thing to do because you showed your dominance. You played the champion that thought she was going to team with you before. Well, honestly, you played her before she probably would have played you. So that was cool. And then you picked up the victory. Like, all right, that's badass. All right, cool. So um, Dewdrop, great. I got, as you can see, lot of upside to it. Liv Morgan, gotta be honest, I'm glad to see Liv get an opportunity. But honestly, I feel like ah, I don't know. I think it's just I think I'm in the moment of just them trying to figure out something with her. It's almost kind of like the Ricochet and Mustafa Ali effect, and we're gonna get into Mustafa Ali a little bit too. But it's kind of that effect where we saw them do kind of a few different things, and it all failed out. Now this new thing for Liv has been working, but honestly, I never saw Liv. I saw her being a competitor. I saw her, being in the mix, but I never really saw her being a legit champion.
Mm.
Like she's a transitional champion for sure. Like
Okay.
if she does win, that at best. But if she doesn't win it, which I doubt that, now everybody damn near wins a championship if you're the right person. Um, but she's got a little bit in the ring, but I need to see a little more.
Next up, man, we get a segment. We get the Alpha Academy in the
The
back.
Creed brothers.
And of course, Otis is going again set up to be the first ever graduate of the Alpha Academy. Then we get the segment, we get Reggie and Dana Brooke with Edge and Beth Phoenix. And then, of course, we get, a whole segment with Damien Priest and Edge. And then Kevin Owens comes in, blah, blah, blah. All right. So we get another match. Oh, no, excuse me. We get another segment. We get
Oh,
Kevin Owens and
hold
Seth.
on. Wait. Hold on. Before you go any further, man. Otis, Chad Gable, and Randy Orton and them. Okay, I know this was like stupid, but this was kind of cool. I'm not gonna lie. For the Alpha Academy to be what they've been saying, like I know some people were upset that RK Bro lost the championships. I actually think it was a good thing. I actually think it was a good thing, man, because one, you actually need to build some tag teams. And you've been trying to build Otis as this, you know, new, determined, unstoppable beast. And Chad Gable's been this coach, that he's been this teacher that's putting them through the academy and changing Otis and making him that number one guy. And it's it's been a slow slow build to something successful for them. So for them to kind of you've been really making, especially what's been going on with them lately, you've been really making Otis really look like that legit guy. And Chad Gable, I'm not gonna lie, man. Right now, man, that dude is reaching in his Kurt Angle bag, and he is doing the damn thing. Just coming out talking, kind of being that asshole, kind of sarcastic, funny, but yet not funny kind of dude. So it's like,
Dry humor.
right, that very dry humor, man. He is definitely reaching in his bag, and you can see the hills and valleys that he's went through to be where he's at now. So for them to be champions and then to hold a graduation, this plays into who they be. They're the Alpha Academy. What do you think? What type of celebration would they have? A graduation. We went through the academy. We did all what we did, and what happened? We graduated. We became the Raw Tag Team Champions. I actually thought that was pretty. I thought that was pretty good. I actually liked that because I don't know, and I guess it's just the detail to the story. Like that was something I didn't think of, but it makes sense to me because of who they are and their character and what they've been presenting themselves as. WWE with some continuity for developing characters. You're developing fresh new people, even though we've been wanting to see Chad Gable, but now we're seeing a more legit Otis. Not I'm not gonna say it was the greatest segment, but I actually liked it. And of course, Riddle and Orton being who they are, and Orton posing with the cap and gown on. Uh, it was stupid, but it was stupid funny to me, and it really played into who they were, and that's something we really don't see from WWE on a consistent basis with certain people or certain teams, and they've really built them into a true team. So now this is a good thing for the Raw tag, well, just for the tag team division, period, because the Alpha Academy really have just been a joke. Uh, from this, for a while. Now you can actually kind of look at them being serious because you know what Chad Gable could do, and now Otis, you see what he can do. So it's like, damn, this is actually a legit team. You actually got to
Right.
come ready to prepare. You got to be ready for these boys, or they gonna smash right through you.
Yeah, and I don't know, man. I've said this in previous episodes, but I'm really, really liking this version of Randy Orton. Much like I said with Brock
Yeah,
Lesnar, you could tell Randy Orton, man, he's
having
really,
fun.
really, really enjoying this run. And who would have thought, man, a guy with the reputation of a Randy Orton and a guy with the reputation of a Matt Riddle actually getting along and being best fucking friends. And you got Randy out here doing shit you would never see Randy do in 2012. You would never see 2006 Randy.
I
What?
got you. If Randy Orton and Matt Riddle had been friends when Randy or when either one of them had first came in, if Randy was still Randy, or even back in 2002 when Randy was coming in, if Riddle had came in then, oh man, I could see them two being really, really good friends, and then something like this playing along. Like Randy's that type of dude. He may not be as space headed as Riddle seems to be, or as goofy, but Randy likes to have fun. Randy's always been that dude that likes to do wild and crazy shit. Maybe not to Riddle's level, but he's always been able. So you can do things, and now he's at a point where he's having more fun, but he's older. So he's like I didn't been there, I didn't did that. So that's why you kind of get that that old dog, teaching the old dog new tricks. So it's
Right.
like Riddle is just that new happy little puppy, and Orton is the old dog, but the old dog is enjoying having fun. He feels young again. So like you, I like it too. Uh, but boy, when that heel turn comes, it's going to really be good because you really got people invested in this tag team.
Yeah,
Um,
my
and
thing
and,
is
and
this. I don't think it's gonna be Randy that do the turn. I like
I
Randy
told you
seems like
that. I told
yeah,
you that.
Randy seems like too much of the obvious choice. Dude, my soul is gonna be crushed, and I'm expecting it. But my soul is gonna be crushed when Riddle turns on Orton. But boy, Riddle's dangerous as a goofball. Imagine if you get a serious Matt Riddle. Oh my God! You talk about violence. You see the match he had with Timothy Thatcher as a face. Now imagine
Mm.
Riddle in a fight pit as a heel. Stop playing with me.
Man. But here's the thing. Even I feel exactly the way you do. But I wouldn't be mad if Orton does turn on. If it does to be Orton, it's like right on cue. I knew you were gonna do it. Yeah,
Right.
you almost had me, Randy. You almost had me, you slide dog. But I knew eventually, yeah, you was gonna bite his ass. I knew that was gonna happen, man. I like so I wouldn't be mad about it. But if it's like seeing something different, seeing something that would kind of spice it up a little bit more, Riddle turning on Randy, yeah, that would be it would be better than what people I like, and I know they're trying. I don't know if it would work, and I know we're gonna get into it, but I gotta compare it to this. But I don't know if the Nikki Ash trying to beat down Rhea Ripley, that's not that the effect that Riddle turning on
Yeah.
Orton, that's the effect they wish that Ash would have on Ripley, but people don't really like Nikki Ash. Like they like Nikki Ash. I don't think they just really care for this
See,
character. The
I
kids
like,
love it. The
but you
moms
but you
love it.
but you hit it right on the
But that's
head.
it.
You hit it right on the head because
Keep talking.
If Nikki Ash would have had the same turn that she had on Rhea Ripley, but came back as the old Nikki Cross, like
Yeah.
Sanity Nikki Cross,
Now
I
that would
think
be different.
okay, now that was like all right, cool. Or even if we're starting to slowly morph back into that, okay, cool. But if she's gonna continue to be Nikki ASH, to me, that whole heel turn is gonna go
She's
down
gonna
the
be a
drain.
super villain. She's
Oh,
gonna turn from a superhero to a super villain.
so what if she turn more into like a Joker like character?
No, because Bliss is the Joker s kind of character. She's kind of got
Yeah.
that vibe. So I don't see them. They brought her back right now, so I don't kind of see that happening.
Right,
Uh,
right, right, right,
the way
right.
that is. But I can see her being a villain. She's gonna be a super villain. That's what they're gonna do with
I like it.
Nikki Ash.
Okay, I can see it. I can see it. Well, man, look. So after that, we had Owens and Priest. They had a match. It was a decent match. I mean, Owens he ended up getting the victory after faking a knee injury. Ended up hitting Priest with a low blow, then hitting him with that power bomb and picking up the victory. Too cold, man. All right, so this. You talk about continuity. This is one
Mhm,
thing that kind of annoyed me. I'm glad KO got the victory, but you made such a big deal about Priest never being pinned or submitted in a singles competition since he's
mhm.
been called up to the main roster. Then
Right.
he gets pinned, and then there's like the announcers don't even. really acknowledge the fact that it's his first. I don't know, man. Like I felt like it should have been a bigger deal than what it was. Although I hated the way it happened. Very cheesy, very lazy booking, if I may say so myself. But I felt like with Priest suffering his first loss as a singles competitor, I felt like you really could have did something around with that. What do you think about Kevin Owens and Damian Priest, man? Does it have any legs? Is it going anywhere?
It's got some legs. The thing is, do people want to see Kevin Owens as the United States champion? Uh, is it good for Damian Priest? Yes. To have a feud with Kevin Owens? Yeah. Oh hell yeah. That it works wonderful for Priest. And him taking his first loss since coming up to the main roster is a humbling experience, but also at the same time, it's great for the story because you break up the monotony of
Yeah.
what he's been doing. He's been having mediocre matches with mediocre people. Okay, you think of that and you're like, well, who has he really fought? Uh, the Miz who has he really fought that really had a legit match outside of Sheamus and the Miz.
Right.
Um, and that's really about it. Everyone else is Dolph Ziggler. Okay, you can Dolph. I mean, Dolph is a former champion. You got to give him his respect and due there. Dolph, had a moment, but uh, it's not. It hasn't been someone to really make him up his game. You can say Sheamus, yes, you can. I wouldn't say the Miz, but I give the Miz credit, but I wouldn't say the Miz really made him up his game.
Right.
Um, because it was too much of a story than it was a match. Uh, Sheamus was a match. They literally beat the hell out of each other and damn near broke each other trying to break the other person. Uh,
Right. Right.
but with Kevin Owens, the finish, yeah, it fits to Kevin Owens' heel. Him winning that type of way, uh, and then beating Priest and giving Priest that first loss. So it's like now he can say he wants to challenge Priest for his championship and prove he's really nothing. So now this makes Priest step his game up, and then we really get to see is Priest at that level to compete with the elite type of players. You know what I'm saying? So
Right.
no, people like him, but can he defend his championship against a former United States pretty much Grand Slam? No, no, because he hasn't won a tag team championship. But can you win against a former Universal champion? Somebody who's won and held the United States championship. So, um, no, I think it could be interesting. What they do with it is the bigger question. As far as the creative. I think Kevin Owens and Priest could make something out of it. But damn, Creed brothers just put work in. I ain't gonna lie, that was a good match. That was a good match. Can't wait to talk about that tomorrow. But yeah, ah, yeah, man. I think this kind of needs to happen, but it's more about the creative side that I'm worried about than it is them wrestling in the ring.
Kevin Smith. We're gonna talk about Austin Theory in a minute, but just because he said it, he says I think Austin Theory gonna be the one to take the title off Priest.
Um, that's not a bad. I can see Priest beating Kevin Owens. Just to kind of give him that build. So when Austin Theory beats him, it feels like a big deal because Priest is somebody that has competed against a couple of you could say former world heavyweight champions and beaten them, and he's competed against other people and beaten them. So he's had a nice little run. I mean, don't get me wrong, Priest had a nice run, but I'm tired of the babyface Priest, so I can't wait for him to turn into the heel. I don't want the
Right.
demon Priest, but we'll see what that turns into. But
Hey man, they about to turn my boy into a Puerto Rican gangrel.
right, but Austin Theory being United States champion, that actually is not a bad. I actually could see that happening. Uh,
Well,
he's
you got to
beaten.
remember too, when he first
Uh,
came into NXT, before they made him goofy, he actually came in as a very serious competitor. So you see what he
yeah,
can do when he's not being the damn goofball. I mean, the guy, he can cut a promo, he can wrestle his ass off. He got the build, and I think, okay, really quick before we move forward, what was the last time in the last few years you seen Vince McMahon on TV this much? You've been hearing reports of him leaving the damn meetings, leaving the shows early, not coming to Raws at all. And now what? 3-4 weeks in a row, you got Vince McMahon on TV in the segment with Austin Theory. If that isn't a rub, I think Vince McMahon is going to do with Austin Theory what I believe should have happened with Drew McIntyre when he came in at 19 years old. I think if it's done correctly, if Austin doesn't drop the ball, I believe maybe that's how Vince feels about Theory.
You're not wrong. The difference would be the way Vince talks to him. Like he would still talk to Drew the same way, but Drew would have a different response. Like he would because Drew was so serious. Austin ain't serious. Austin is taking selfies and BSing and joking around. So it's like Vince's response to him is kind of like just getting him to focus, to be more vicious, to be more aggressive and all that. But you're right as far as that feel of wanting to groom another young talent. And that's why I say I truly could see Austin Theory winning the United States Championship. I'll mention it now, man, but him beating, oh my God, man, they did to Finn Balor what I knew they were going to do. Call back up to the main roster, try to make him look somewhat credible, and then you start burying his ass again. And I'm just, I want my guy to leave, man. I want to see Finn Balor be at his all-time best. I want to see somebody allow him to be who he is. Some people say he's not really all that great. Some people like him, some people don't. But you can't deny that the guy isn't good enough in the ring. The matches he's had with Shinsuke Nakamura, Samoa Joe, and others, he's had great matches. Seth Rollins, he's put on some great matches with other people. And he's put on he's made other people look really great. So I hate it for that fact that he's getting played, but for Austin to get that push as that new young guy, he's got the in-ring ability. He's charismatic as hell. We watched this dude be a doofus son, stepson, adopted son for like a year and a half. Like we watched this dude. We watched this guy perform, man. So, and I think Vince has had an eye on him, or somebody's had an eye on him because they see that he's that kid-friendly kind of. He's hip. He's into what's going on. So, and he's good in the ring. So you want to see him. So it worked. Everything is actually in line. Like you say, everything. This is Vince's new chosen one. The fact that he's on the show, and we haven't seen Vince be on TV regularly in almost 10, 15 years. Years. Yeah. Not just showing up every once in a while. On the show regularly, almost once every week. No, it's been that's been a long time since the DX shit. Yeah. I don't think he's really been on really a lot since. Consistent.
And he's actually having more than one-liners.
Right. Well, he's mumbling a lot now, but he's still balls. Damn, Vince. All right. But
you're fired.
But yeah, man. I can see Austin winning. I hate to see what's happening in the Finn. Priest could definitely put on a good match with Kevin Owens. I think Royal Rumble, if they do it for the Royal Rumble, lately they just do Intercontinental and United States, and we got to talk about that too, man. Like, why is that's too much to talk about. But
we're gonna get into
we'll get into that Friday, man. We'll get into that Friday. We'll save it for Friday show.
Let me run through the rest of this irrelevant shit so we can get back to some more main shit, some rumors.
Yeah, go ahead.
All right, then after this, we got Almost and Reggie, almost piece up the victory. We get a segment with Miz and Maurice and Beth Phoenix and Edge, blah blah blah. Then we get a segment with the Prophets and the Mysterios.
Hey, I heard she got hit in the head with a brick. People was tripping out about it.
Yeah, she did. Maurice had a brick and I think like a purse or some shit. They hit Beth Phoenix with the purse. Then Miz was like, should we show him? And then Maurice pulled out a fucking brick. Hey, Maurice went to the French school of St. Clair. You feel me?
Hey man, she like I ain't know this. She knows she that, but that show how scared she is because Glamazon will whoop that ass. Oh,
Oh,
she
you
gonna whoop
already
that
know,
ass,
man. You already know, man. Hey, Maurice about to get a French ass pound.
man. Seriously,
and then And then next up, we get the tag match. We get the Prophets and the Mysterios versus the Dirty Dog. Oh, excuse me. Prophets and the Mysterios versus the Dirty Dogs and Apollo and Disease, man. The Prophets and Mysterios ended up picking up the victory. My boy Montez Ford, I'm going to say it again. I don't care. You got the prettiest frog splash in the history of frog splashes. Then, man, we get this build. We get Brock Lesnar and Bobby Lashley vignette, man. The way they put this thing together, I can't wait to see them go to town. But before we move forward, man, the internet, could be full of a lot of trolls, but it could be full of some somewhat valid information. And I want to kind of get your point on it, man. All right, so for years, the WWE wrestling fans, man, we've been begging, pleading with Vince McMahon and the wrestling guys, man. Please give us Bobby Lashley versus Brock Lesnar. Now, we're getting that. However, there's some people who seem to, believe this may be a conspiracy to make us forget how dirty they did Big E. Now, I feel like that is also a valid point because if you didn't do Brock versus Big E, I think people would still be salty about the fact that Big E was the one that I don't think people care that he's the one that he lost it. I think you understood business wise. Come on, it's fucking Brock Lesnar. However, people feel like he kind of got squashed, kind of like Kofi. Now, so you think that it doesn't matter that Brock Lesnar beat Big E?
Oh no. I think it does matter that Brock Lesnar Big BE because the thing is, man, this was supposed to be the match to put Big E over. This was supposed to be the match that put him over. This was the match he needed. The simple fact that you built up all this time that it was going to be Seth Rollins to fight Big E. Then it was Kevin Owens finding his way into getting to the match, and then it's Kevin Owens and Seth Rollins fighting Big E. So now you put these two guys. Now these two, and the story is they went be up and beyond to make this look good for him because they wanted him to have this title run. So the fact that you got people that see what you can do and they know how good you are and they willing to go out here and do whatever to put you in that position. And then Bobby Lashley gets into it. All right, bet, cool.
Right.
That this was supposed to be his match to win. You beat these three guys in this match, yo. All right, it's been a little subpar since you won it for Money in the Bank. Big E's not supposed to be a transitional champion. Flat the fuck out. You could say, man, too cold, man. You've been drinking a little bit. I only had one shot. I ain't been drinking nothing. This is just how I feel about this. This should not have happened. Now, business wise, Brock Lesnar being in the match, yes. Put Brock Lesnar in the match. Why? Because that just makes it even better for Big E when he wins. He didn't have to pin Brock Lesnar. You could have had Bobby. You could still do Bobby Lashley versus Brock Lesnar by having them two take each other out of the match. They can be brawling and doing what they do, and they end up getting themselves taken out of the match. And you could have did some stuff with them before that happened, but and they could have showcased their power and whatnot. But it could have ended up just them two just being so determined that they ended up taking each other out. And then you got Big E going up against Kevin Owens and Seth Rollins. You still got legit people in this match, and then he could have come out victorious. Again, it doesn't squander Brock Lesnar. It doesn't squander Bobby Lashley. It doesn't hurt Kevin Owens. It doesn't hurt Seth Rollins, and it builds up Big E with a least respectable, legit run. Damn, Kofi got a longer run than that, and everybody shitted on his title run, and not they shitted on him, but they shitted on WWE for not doing a little bit more, and they undermined the Daniel Bryan rematch. I hated that. I hated that so much. They did that, man. You were supposed to build that up to something better, and instead you did some rinky-dink ass match on Raw. That pissed me off. Like that was supposed to be a pay-per-view match, and you had too much story to not at least give them that much. So with Big E, that's what pissed people off, man. It was the simple fact that it has the loud and exciting part of him kind of I think kind of gotten dulled on some people. I think to a degree. I think some people still liking it, love it, but I think they kind of want him to be a little more serious sometimes. Yeah, even though he has been serious, but I just a little bit more edgier, not so much still kind of new dayish. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But
Hey,
uh,
and I don't want to cut you off, but you said something that really kind of that struck home for me because I see this a lot online. People like Kofi. Kofi still kind of got a little bit of the New Day in him, but Kofi's, he's this whole Sir Kofi now. You got Xavier Woods, got a little bit of the New Day in him, but he's King Woods now, so he's got a new thing. They're similar, but they're kind of doing their own thing. With Big E, Big E's kind of always been that one person who, even when he went over solo dolo by himself, he never really broke away from that New Day mold, even though they pushed him as a solo guy. But he came out, same music, same dancing, the same attire. He never really broke away from that mold.
No, and he didn't. But the thing that they tried to do was they tried to bring back that kind of Big E Langston entrance when he used to come out, kind of get pumped up and hype. Like I feel like but because WWE wants to be all so bright and fucking colorful, that's why they didn't really change it. So it was like this is the Big E we want to see, but it's something, something's off. It's like and I feel like if they did just tweak a few
Big
things,
E Langston.
I just need like the theme music. The theme music is cool. Like you want to go big, we can go big then. That's cool. All right, Wale, cool, but it's too colorful, and it's still new dayish. Yeah. Like for me, it's still too new dayish. So with all of that being said, and the fact that yes, the bigger money is Brock Lesnar and Roman Reigns. And if you're going to do a potential champion versus champion, title for title at WrestleMania between these two, as big as that is, here's the problem to me. One, if Brock Lesnar wins, it does nothing for Roman Reigns. For me, I feel like it kills everything Roman Reigns has done. Right. If Roman Reigns wins, it doesn't hurt Brock Lesnar, but I feel like it hurts everyone else in the way that, damn, man, you really don't have nobody else that can beat Roman Reigns. Like, it's not like, man, Roman Reigns is not unbeatable. I am not. I understand he's changed his tactics and what he does and who he is and whatnot. Right. And I get the science. I understand, but at the same time, somebody's got to be able to beat this dude, man. And you can't tell me you don't have nobody. Now you can say, well,
I got
too
one.
cold.
I got
too
one
cold. Hold on.
I got somebody.
Hold on. Before you even give me who you got, you can say too cold. But you got to remember, man, they released like almost 200 people. Who the hell you think is still on the roster? Well, there's one or two people. But before I say one or two people, and I just looked at one of the two people that I'm thinking of because he was talking to the NXT Tag Team Champions, and I'm gonna leave it at that. But who do you think is somebody franchise?
So one, you could say, if you want to fast track his ass, Walter. Two,
that's what I was talking about.
I know. And then two, if you really want to keep it a buck, man, Drew McIntyre and Roman Reigns still got unfinished business. So
he's injured. He's injured. He's injured. He's out.
But that's perfect. And I'm gonna tell you why that's perfect. You keep his ass off TV. You're not exposing us to, you're not exposing Drew to us every single day. So guess what? He ain't out here losing little stupid ass matches. So guess what? Depending on how long but guess what? Depending on how long he's out, guess what? Let him and Brock do what they gonna do. Because at the end of the day, I don't think this shit going to Mania between them two anyway. Let that shit end at the Rumble and let Drew and Roman build a program. Because Drew ain't gonna be in the Rumble anyway. He gonna miss the Rumble.
Well, Drew's gonna miss the Rumble, but with his injury, I think he's gonna miss Mania too. Now the thing here is, you say, well, they wouldn't have him losing. Drew's been whooping everybody's ass since he was whooping ass before he got to Raw, before he got to SmackDown when he was on Raw, and since he's been on SmackDown, he's been whooping everybody's ass. So they were already building Drew up. Drew had to
Mhm.
leave for that injury that he's already had and he's been working through, and it's just to the point where he's got to get that taken care of. Now, what's the timetable on
Right.
that injury? Does that take him past WrestleMania? Well, I think it does, because depending on the severity of it, even if it's not totally bad, career ending, but if it's like, yo, he's gonna need at least 5 months to heal and then get right, because it's a shoulder, upper shoulder area. So you want to make sure Drew's powerful, Drew's big, man. Drew got to have
Right.
that
Right.
strength. He's got to have that stuff. What's up, little shorty? Uh, he's got to be Drew McIntyre. He's got to be that Scottish warrior, man. All right, so you got to make sure he's right, and if he's not right, you damn sure don't risk him for a WrestleMania match where he can get potentially worsened, and then
Right.
it shows in the match. You damn sure we've seen when people get injured how it affects the match, because they like, okay, they got to call this because he's obviously hurt to the point where he can't continue. You don't want that. So Walter, yes. Drew, yes. I said Drew was I figured Drew was going to win the Royal Rumble again and go and face Roman this time, because because he when he won it, he ended up going to fight Brock, and I feel like he would have went. I feel like Roman would have been champion. He would have ended up fighting Roman. I think that would have been the WrestleMania. It wouldn't have been. I mean, it could have been Drew versus Brock. That was still, but it could have been Drew versus Roman too, because I believe Roman would have been champion by that time also at that same time if he hadn't have been away due to leukemia and then of course everything else that was happening. So, uh, but yeah, man, as far as what happened on the show, it was what it was, man. They can't have both of their number one contenders. They can't have neither one of their number one contenders lose, because both of these guys are fighting for their respective championships in a couple of weeks. So it was a typical match. But yeah, Big E got played, but we understand why he got played. We hate it because we wanted to see him grow like we saw with Drew. Like when we saw
Right.
Drew, and don't get me wrong, even with during the pandemic, even with what was going on and the lack of people being there because of what was going on, man, Drew carried. Man, he got to grow, he got to develop, and we want to see that for Big E. And we're not. It's just like, damn, man. Like we see there's something there. There's something there. Just tweak a few things. Just tweak a few little things and just send him out there different. They never, to me, again, they never separated him from the New Day. Everything about him still screamed New Day. Yeah, it was Big E. Yeah, it was kind of that little bit of Big E Langston in him, but it was still New Dayish.
Too cold, man. So we finished
What's
up
up, man?
Raw. I want to get into a couple of rumors real quick, man. That we wrap this thing on up. We talked about it earlier, but we didn't really tap into it. So I wanted to kind of touch on this right now. One of the things I want to talk about first is Finn Balor. So the rumor that's been circulating online is that Vince sees Finn Balor is nothing more than a mid carder and somebody older talent to use to build up his newer generation of talent. Now, with that
Yep.
being said, you and I, we've said this already. We've said this when Finn Balor, when he took some time off and then he came back to NXT and he reinvented himself and he had that beautiful
Beautiful.
run, having
Oh,
match after match after match. Now we said this. We both at one point or another said this. We said, you know what? I'm scared to see Finn Balor get called back up because you could have went one or two ways with Finn. Finn Balor built himself back up to where if you brought him back up to Raw or SmackDown, and honestly, I think the biggest mistake was sending him back over to Raw. But anyway, you could have did one or two things. You could have continued the momentum that Finn Balor had in NXT, and guess what? People would have completely forgot that he got shitted on the first time around. Because guess what? You had something credible. You had this fire ass run that he hasn't had since he won a Universal Championship. Or two, you could have kept his ass in NXT. The only problem is
no,
it wouldn't have mattered
no,
no
no,
way
no,
because
could that wouldn't have worked either. That wouldn't have worked either, because you see what it is
but that's
now.
what I'm that's what I'm getting to. That's what I'm saying. You could have kept him in NXT, but then seeing the whole NXT 2.0 rebrand, it wouldn't have fucking mattered. So then you could have sent his ass back to NXT UK. But my thing is, dude, I don't understand, how do you not have anything for Finn Balor? How can you possibly not see this guy as nothing more than a mid Carter? This guy, he already showed you
because
how
that's what
popular he
it.
was in the main roster. He went down to NXT. Not only did he go down to NXT, but he fucking killed it in NXT. That shit literally revitalized his WWE career. And then apparently you seen something in him to call him back up. So how do you not have anything for this guy? I mean, you put your first ever Universal Championship run on this guy. Now, granted, he got cut short, he got hurt, you ain't did shit with him since. But you can't tell me that you don't see anything in this guy. Is it that you don't see anything in him, or you refuse to see anything in him?
I'm gonna say this, man, and it's something that someone had raised as a question, and that is, has Vince McMahon lost his eye for talent? Now, here's what I'm gonna tell you. One, he feels the way he feels about Finn Balor because one, he's an older talent, and two, obviously he's never felt seen any more than him than what he has. We've seen that.
Right.
Um, has Vince lost his eye for talent? To a degree, yes, he has. To I think he has a small eye for talent now, which is why he's working solely with hands on with Austin Theory. Uh,
Right, right.
Not to say he may not be, have an eye on a few other people, but you see a difference in some other people, and you see a difference in Austin Theory. He's not only having a segment with Vince, he's having a match, and then he's having another segment, and then he's doing something else, and then he's having another segment. It's like, damn, dude, for a 3 hour show, you have just racked up maybe 45 minutes of just a match and talking time with Vince. Like,
Right.
dude, that's huge. Okay, so um, yeah, it's yeah, it is what it is, man. I can't be denied. That's for damn sure.
All right, two more things I want to talk to you about real quick, man, and we out. All right, Cody Rhodes working for AEW without a contract. So, Cody Rhodes, his
Yeah, I
contract is
saw that. I
expired.
saw
And
that.
then of course, man, the famous rumors of him and the Bucks not really and Kenny not really getting along behind the scenes. And then, he was out, of course, for the last couple of weeks due to COVID. He's going to be on AEW, I believe, tomorrow. But too cold, man. All right. So just we living in a parallel universe right now, and I almost don't want to ask this because I don't believe it will happen, but is the ball in Cody Rhodes' court right now? Now, I don't think he's going to leave AEW. I really don't. I truly, in my heart, don't believe it. As much time as he's put in promotional wise, doing all these events and these shows, really trying to get AEW out there as far as a brand and marketing standpoint. I don't see it. Cody Rhodes, I mean, he might be getting booed now, but the guy was treated like a wrestling god when he first came on the scene in AEW. So I don't see him necessarily leaving for anybody. Damn sure not WWE. But is Cody Rhodes a 100% lock to stay in AEW, or is his stock higher than ever because of what he's done with AEW?
Both. His stock is high as ever because of what he's done in AEW, but at the same time, um, Britt Baker said it best: you can't trust what that company's going to do with you.
Yep. Yep.
So, and Cody being someone
Mm-hmm.
who worked for that company
Right.
and went through the shit he went through, which promoted what he's doing now. Uh, yeah, yeah. No. Is he going to go? Now, look, he's working without a contract. Okay, he's working without a contract. Has the business evolved and changed since day
Keep
one
talking,
of
bro. Keep
when
talking.
of what they talked about to what's going on now? Yes, most definitely, it has drastically changed. So I guess when you want to look at Cody, you say, does Cody does he want to leave? Does he want more money? I will, of course, yeah, he will want some more money. him and Tony are going to negotiate, but I don't see him leaving. I don't see him leaving because he is the star. He is a star there. He is a star. He is a focal point. And right now, he has such a story going in AEW that if he, the fact that he's never going to turn heel, but yet he does kind of heelish kind of things from time to time, that right, that is working wonders for him right now. Because when he comes back tomorrow night, and of course Sammy Guevara is going to come out, and you're going to have the TNT champion, and you're going to have the interim TNT champion, and they're going to have their little war of words. There's still going to be something about Cody that's just going to rub people the wrong way, and they're going to
Right.
boo the hell out of him, and you just it's I could WWE make a hell of an offer to him? Of course they could. I let's not even play games. Can Tony Khan make an offer to him? Of course he could. Will Tony Khan make that type of offer to him? That's the question. But I feel like the creativity and just being able to still continue to be a hand and promoting and putting over the show the way he has. Don't get me wrong. Do we want to see Cody turn heel? Sure. But can we really be upset about what he has helped do with this company over the past 2 years? Hell fucking no. And I mean that
Right.
as I said it. I can't be mad at it. Has it all been perfect? No. But has it been a joy to watch and see the development and just see him have the trust in people? Yeah, and just like and give people that trust, live on TV to say, hey, here's your opportunity. What are you going to do with it? And we
Right.
watched Darby Allin. We watched MJF. We watched so many people. People were looking like, there's nothing really special about these guys, man. And we watched them become special, and be good and get better. So he will be rewarded for that. Whatever is going on, he's still okay. He's not obligated to be there. He can really show up on WWE whenever he wants to, but yet he's not. The dude's not going anywhere. I'm not saying he couldn't. I'm not saying WWE can't make him an offer, but Cody's old. Okay, in WWE standard, Cody's old. How long of a run you think you're gonna have before Vince say, you know what? Yeah, I know we were gonna do this, but I changed my mind. We're gonna do this instead.
Right.
Hey,
Right.
hey,
Right.
hey, we still got that gold suit. You want to put it back on?
True, true. Well, hey, Tuco, look, man. All right, we done went over the news. We done went over some of the rumors. We done covered Monday Night Raw. I don't know about you, man. I'm about to go get me something to eat because I'm starving. And you kind
Yeah,
of
me too. Me too.
you inspired me with some of that liquor, so I think I might go ahead and hit that stove and hit the palace like Ron Artest. So
All right, well, you better hurry up, man. But also because it's snowing out there, you be careful. Where it's a lot of snow out there. But yeah, man, I'm about to go eat too because we had Polish boys and French fries for dinner, so I'm about to go get mine.
Sounds fancy. Sounds
Right,
fancy.
right, 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 right,
And for
right.
y'all who don't know, man, that's a Cleveland thing. You dig
For
that? But with
sure,
that being said, ladies
for
and gentlemen,
sure.
thank you once again for tuning in to another episode of Generation of Wrestling Podcast. As always, man, it's
Two
yours truly,
one
the twin
six,
yo,
baby.
yo. He's too cold, and we'll see y'all tomorrow. Peace.